Hi everyone. I got a really interesting question that a gentleman named Mo Lotev, I believe that's how you say it. He messaged me with a really good question about jiu-jitsu, about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And he asked me, when I train Brazilian jiu-jitsu, have I gotten injured? And my question is yes, I did get injuries. Okay, especially when I first started getting into jiu-jitsu and grappling. And the reason was because I was kind of looking to see how to incorporate my frame and structure into the floor, right, on a conceptual level. But the problem is that I never met anyone who could teach that way. So I kind of had to just try to figure it out on my own, which was really difficult for me. So what happened was that I ended up doing all the mistakes that a lot of people make, which is you become very physical. You rely a lot on your physicality. So when you're moving and you're moving really fast, then or someone you're grappling, then you rely a lot on your physicality. So if someone's moving and you're trying to catch up to them and you're doing this, and then they're pushing you and you're like this, and then you're pushing back like this, and using all the wrong things to stop someone. Or I've grappled with people who are like 300 pounds on top of me, and you try and you're pushing on and you can't do anything. It's so heavy. So then my muscle will get burned out, and then what happens is that when you get into a bad position, let's say an armbar, right, or Kimura, and you're like, right, and then you start to use your muscle while they have leverage on you, and they're yanking with their whole body, right, and you're trying to do this. Then what happens is that once your muscle gives out, your arm would just relax, and then all of a sudden you're going to get snapped. And then you injure your joints, your arm, hyperextend, your shoulder, right? So tension became my worst nightmare when I was grappling, right? When people get your backs, they get the hooks, and then they try to stretch you out, right? And you're like this, and they're on your back, and they're trying to stretch you up open like this, and you're fighting this, then all your intercostal muscles right here, the muscles in your rib cage, in between your rib cage, you're fighting, you're squeezing, and then when they force you to open, then you hear pops. You'll hear it go pop, right? Pop. And this is the little muscles in between your rib cage. It will pop. They actually rupture. And these are painful. If anybody's had an intercostal muscle pull or tear, it is a nightmare, right? And the thing is, it's very common in grappling because at the lower levels, people fight. They try to resist too much. So what I learned to do is start to relax, and then I got better. But it was still difficult for me to how do I put my Wing Chun frame and the concepts and apply them to grappling. And this is when when I first met Henry a long time ago, Henry Akins, he was talking in a language that I spoke. He was teaching a class, and he was talking about weight distribution and about leverage, and he was talking in conceptually. And I said, "Hey, I understand. That's my language. I talk like this, right?" So I started really pay attention to him, and I was like, "Man, this guy really understands what he's doing, and he's teaching on a conceptual level, not on a technical level. It's a conceptual level." And I said, "Okay, all right, I need to start training with this guy." And then that's when Henry was kind of the bridge for me to link a better understanding of my Wing Chun and how to apply it to the floor, right? How to use weight connection, how to use weight distribution, how to use angle change, and then how to create leverage. All these concepts were his jiu-jitsu, and that's exactly my Wing Chun. So I said, okay, then this is the person that I need to start learning from, and so I have to really give him a lot of credit for helping me to fill that gap. And so now when I train so relaxed. And now what I try to do is I try to use more of that frame and that connection and feeling the connection in my body, connection to the floor, right? And then connection to the partner, right? And how to maintain this while I'm grappling and in any position, so that I never have to become physical, right? If you become too physical, then you're going to get injured. So when you understand a frame, so Hicks and Gracie, you know, Henry's instructor and an amazing martial artist. There's several interviews out right now that he's given, but the ones that really impressed me are the ones where he tells these people, look, the hardest part to learn good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, his method of Jiu-Jitsu, is to remove yourself out of the equation, to remove your physicality and your attributes, your strengths, your flexibility, your speed, these things. He say, if you eliminate that from the equation and you just look at the movements, then it's easier to find the perfect movements, then you can make a tiny little adjustment of weight distribution or angle change, and it solves all these problems. But you won't find that if you're putting band-aids over your mistakes by covering up your mistakes and getting through your mistakes with just more physicality or more speed or more muscle. He's always talking about how you must first remove those elements out of your training. You can add them later when the thing is perfect, but I really feel like he's also trying to achieve the same thing, which is connection and the concept in your body, to understand your body, to solve these problems without the physicality. So this is I think the right mindset to train, whether you're on your feet or on the ground, and the sooner you start to do that, the sooner you start to find more efficiency, right? How to become more efficient, and then that's the road to really high level skill that lasts for forever, right? So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm still working on perfecting the floor, still working on perfecting the feet, standing up and the striking. But that's what I would encourage you guys to do. One, it's going to prevent injuries, right? Because you're using a frame to protect yourself. And two, you're going to find your mistakes faster, and then you can start solving them faster. So yes, I have been injured, but grappling, but only because I was becoming too physical. And it wasn't until I started getting rid of that and become more frame and less physical that then I really started to understand how to become more efficient. And as a result, I became less injured. So now I really enjoy training. Sometimes I grapple for 5-7 hours a day straight, and with a bunch of like amazing grapplers. And if I was physical with them, there's no way I could keep up for that long. I would drain myself. So my advice is for you guys to try to eliminate the physicality, really work on your form, and that way you prevent injuries.